May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. Okay, let me tell you straight up. Next week is not the week to be doing a whole bunch of trading. I'm not. I probably won't be taking one trade throughout the whole week. Why? Because it's going to be highly volatile, highly unpredictable. Um, you got the elections. You have interest rate decisions. You got FOMC. I mean, just next week may be all over the place, all right, and may not respect technical analysis because the fundamentals are so heavily weighted. So I'm recommending that you wait and watch. And if you're going to trade, wait for confirmations. Wait for confirmations for every trade. All right. Again, next week is not the week I would think to be looking to be making big profits and putting big profits on your books. All right. Now, let's. I'm going to give you some analysis. Anyway, you won't see any arrows on my analysis this week. All right. I'll give what I think is probably the likely scenario, but just know that everything's take it all with a grain of salt, okay? Because next week is going to be with the U.S. elections and the FOMC and the other interest rates for the other currencies. Just be careful. All right. Let's start with the U.S. dollar index. All right. Looking at the monthly, you can see last month closed rather strong. All right. This is a very bullish candle. And you can see that it closed above a bearish fair value gap. Now, why did that bearish fair value gap even develop? What happened here? Price pushed down, took out that swing low, and then after every swing low, you have to expect the potential for a pullback. And that's exactly what happened. That's all. All right. But what was unpredictable is that price took out this fair value gap. It closed above it. And then this month, the new month, started with an open above that fair value gap. We did not even go back into it just yet. At least not just yet, but we opened and there's the potential that we may close above that fair value gap. So it's no longer a factor. All right. But we are bullish. All right. We are bullish. Let's go to the weekly. If we go to the weekly, you can see this is where I love to uh, look at the direction of price. You see these up close candles. You see the down close candles overtook the up close candles, creating an order block. Price came back into that order block and dropped. Boom. All right. That's where we came down and took out that swing low. All right. You see the return to it. You see the bullish fair value gaps showing you what the order flow is. These bullish fair value gaps along the way. This is the weekly time frame now, and you can see that we are revisiting the very same level of where those order blocks are, the very same level. But this time, there was a lot of time in between there and that, then and now, and we saw a lot of what do you call it? Daylight. All right, where price goes away and comes back. Price could there's potential for price to hold and be turned around, but because of all that bullish momentum, and you saw how big that candle looked on the monthly, I'm thinking that price is going to continue. But you see how last week how this candle ended up. It looks like a big old indecision candle rather. All right, and that slows. That's a rather abrupt slowdown on the bullish momentum, isn't it? All right. So there is potential for price to turn around here. All right. Don't get it twisted. So uh, bear that in mind. But what I am looking at is the fact. Oops, I'm sorry. The fact that we are revisiting an order block that has already been used here. All right. And I would think that because that the more you test an order block fair value gap, the more the weaker it gets. All right, and in the case of fair value gaps, I don't even look at them anymore once they're already tapped. once they're already rebalanced. Okay, with the order block, it depends on how price ran, how price was tapped, how deep the penetration was, or the um, the, I will gauge the reaction. Right now, we are given a reaction, but I think we still have bullish momentum, and I'm looking for price to hit this high here. All right, we got the previous weekly high, and then that old swing high after it. If we go to the daily, you can see that fair value gap, the latest fair value gap. I should have pointed that out. Uh, right here. This is the most recent fair value gap. Prices pushed pretty high since then. It looks like we're having a little trouble here, a little trouble of continuing higher, but there may be a fair value gap in on the lower time frames in this wick. All right, if we go down one, we look for it, and what we have is this bullish engulfer. Okay, what we have is this bullish engulfer and this area. Look at these series of down closed candles. If we overtake the series of down closed candles, this will constitute a bullish order block, and it would uh, indicate bullishness. It would indicate that there is support for prices to move higher, and this is the high of the previous week, and I'm looking for this week to overtake that high. If we use next candle theory, you see how high we close over the previous candle, uh, and to include the whole range of this candle. We took this is a very good indication of bullishness to come because it's a bullish engulfer insofar as it took the low of the previous candle and the high of the previous candle. I love seeing these because they're easy to say, yeah, okay, I'm looking for a price to not only take out the previous high, but to move higher, quite possibly to the swing high. So we are bullish. I'm looking for a bullish. I have a bullish outlook on the US dollar index. If we go to the euro, I spent a lot of time on that. If we go to the euro, we're going to see the inverse of the US dollar index. All right, and what do we see? We see these down the series of down closed candles on the weekly time frame and price reaching up into this fair value gap on the weekly. All right, and you see the respect that it gave that fair value gap. Okay, so what does that mean? Looks like price may be heading down. There's a potential for price to head lower. All right, price has been buoyed. All right, found support at this not what do you call it, a volume imbalance. See how price gapped up there. All right, a lot of times, like I pointed out in other videos, price will come down here and you'll find price reacts to it. So this is the reaction. Price did not go past that, didn't close past that volume imbalance. It went up to that fair value gap, and I'm looking for price to quite possibly continue down, take out the low, the previous weekly low here, and then uh, head towards this swing low here at what is that, at 101.0749. Okay, so I am bearish. I am bearish. I have a bearish outlook on the euro. All right, you can see just like the US dollar index has a bullish engulfer, this is a very bearish engulfer insofar as it took out the high and low of the entire uh, trading range of the previous candle. And it's a great engulfer. And you see how it reacted to this weekly fair value gap. Yes, it push price into this bullish fair value gap, which you saw the displacement to get there in the first place. But I fear that this bullish fair value gap will fail and price will continue down. We'll see. We'll see how the price works out next week when we hit, if we come to take out this previous weekly low. Now let's go to the. Sorry, what the heck just happened? Let's go to the the British pound. All right. If we go to the British pound, you can see this was a stronger currency. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Then we took out the swing high over here. All right. We're on the weekly time frame, folks. All right. And then price pushed down to the breakout area. All right. And or this area of fair value, this order block here, tested it and pushed higher, used it now. Done with it, but we made a higher high and then we broke structure to the downside. All right. So what am I looking at? All right. We have a bullish fair value gap that price is in right now. Price could find support here. So far, it has closed like a doji last week. All right. And we have uh, wicks on both sides of the smaller body, the smaller body candle. This is indecisive. All right. And we are sitting in a daily fair value gap. We're on a weekly now, but there's a daily fair value gap nested within this weekly fair value gap. Price could find support here to go higher. All right. Even though I mentioned that we have a stronger US dollar, I fear that I suspect that it will get stronger and that will push price down a little further. But right now, price is sitting in a bullish fair value gap on both the daily and the weekly. If we go to the weekly, to the daily, help. All right. If we go to daily, you can see what was the reaction to the fair value gap. This is the daily fair value gap here. All right, price pushed down. We didn't get a lot of lift from it. Did not take out swing highs or whatever. It just didn't happen. All right, and we pushed down further into it, closing past the mean threshold of this bullish fair value gap on the daily. All right. That's the halfway point, is what I mean. What I'm talking about. We close past it, and then push. We try to push up, and then close at the on the underside of the mean threshold here. This doesn't look bullish to me. All right, that's not bullish price action. All right, price could climb higher, but after this rejection, ooh, I don't know. That's a pretty respectful candle there, and we may be heading down. All right. So let with this kind of candle, it's a inside bar. I can't trust it, but so much. It's an inside bar. This is what you normally see at the turn where price turns around, right? Like this one. All right. Price starts to do a turnaround. You start to see inside bars. Okay. There's one up here, and then price takes a nosedive. You understand? So I got my eye on the situation here. All right, we could see price move up, or we could see a continuation. You know, after price closed here and then came back up to that mean threshold, we might that we might see some downside action. All right, but let Monday, Tuesday pass before you even think about doing anything. That's my recommendation. If we go to the Aussie dollar, I'm going to the weekly. Similar situation. We see price was moving pretty good, higher highs and higher lows. We took out the swing high, then price nosedive, right? Why did we pull back? Well, there's a number of fundamental reasons, but what I want to look at is the fact that we took out this this swing low here, all right, and we haven't had a meaningful pullback in this uh, in those candles in this bearish run, right? We've created a bearish fair value gap here that price could use to go lower. All right, bearing in mind that US dollar looks pretty strong and it looks like it may get stronger. So, and we also have this intersecting what do you call it? It's a what we have here is a breaker. All right, and uh, uh, price could come up to that breaker and, and continue down. All right, it could do that. We could find that there. All right, or we could find that uh, resistance here at the weekly fair value gap. All right, but I am bearish. I have a bearish outlook on the Aussie dollar. Uh, if we go to the weekly, you don't see uh, you see the weekly. I mean the I'm sorry, we're on the daily time frame. You see that we have a weekly fair value gap here, and this thin one here is the daily. The daily fair value gap nested within the weekly. If price does find a relief rally, have a relief rally on the daily. Oh, come on, man. We could see price move down from here. All right, but be careful. I told you I wasn't going to leave any arrows on there because this could all be trash. You see this long wick here? I'm looking for price to reach down to that to that 50% of this wick because that's where I normally, if I want to see price goes up, I don't want to see it go past that. In this case, I just want to see what price does. If it does come down here, we start to see daily weekly closures, a weekly closure below that line, then I know we're going to be continuing down to that swing low. All right, I think we have one more. I got time for one more, and we're going to do the New Zealand dollar. New Zealand dollar is almost identical right now to the price action on the Aussie dollar. You see the push higher. We took out the swing high. Price pulled back all the way down. It looks like we're heading down to that swing low. All right, after a external uh, run on liquidity here, an external range liquidity being grabbed here, we're going to be running where? To the internal, right? And there was a bullish fair value gap here. Price just ran through it. Boom, boom. All right. When I see price disrespecting the bullish fair value gaps, all right, then I'm thinking it'll head towards the opposite opposing side, external uh, range liquidity. Okay, and we are making a beeline towards it. The thing is, again, I haven't seen a meaningful pullback yet. All right, could something be the impetus for a pullback? Sure. A relief rally of sorts? Sure. Maybe the elections. All right, and we have a weekly fair value gap here, and we haven't touched it here just yet, but we have touched it here, and you see how price reacted. I'm looking for price to maybe take out these highs. All right, establish a sweep of the previous weekly high, and then come down to the previous swing low, the this swing low or the previous weekly low. That's what I'm looking for. That's the craziest looking thing I just did. All right, so I'm looking for this to be the draw on liquidity. All right, maybe we get this chop, and then we come on down to that 50% of this big wick here. All right, no arrows. All right. So that's my forecast. That's my analysis. Again, I'm recommending you take it slow. All right. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing, but I wanted to put out some kind of guidance for my viewers. Ha! I have some other videos I'm going to put out today. Make sure you stay tuned for them. Give a like to this video if you like the video, and do not miss my updates that I'll put in the comment section because I like to update my videos, let you know how price is moving, if we hit uh, targets or not. All right, make sure you subscribe so you can make sure you get those updates. All right, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. May profits be upon you.